Okay, so now I want to show you how you can use the efRouting system to choose one of the recommended routes. And in the next video, I'll show you in depth how to create your own custom route from scratch. So when you go into the route planner here on the left, you get to this dashboard of all the routes that you've managed before. Eventually everything will be saved here for everything that you've done. But the first thing you'll see is the option to make a new route. And like I said, there will be a video for creating a custom route. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to create a loop route, which means a route plan that connects several lanes together that get your truck out from its origin and back. So this would be a good option for planning a trip for a truck for a week, 2 weeks to get out and back to home. So you'll see similar items here asking for the trailer type and the origin city. I'm going to say Atlanta, Georgia is my origin city with my dry van. And I plan on leaving on Monday will be the plan. So then I'll click search. And what the search is doing right now is it's running through the system's previous route searches and also generating new route plans based on the analysis of the market. So this is looking at similar things from that video about the load and the lane recommendations. Now it's taking all of those lane recommendations and it's piecing together complete plans. So you'll see at the start of the list of different route plans, the highest profit potential and the ease of booking options. And for this, instead of ease of booking, it's ease of completing. So that includes other items like total deadhead miles and time between loads and lanes. So for this route here, it's saying that you would leave Atlanta on Monday, take a load to Warrenton, so along the same lines of what we saw in the deal finder, the load lane recommendation tool. So then from Warrenton, it's saying you take a load to Manchester, New Hampshire, and then you go down to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and then you go over to Dayton, Ohio, and then from Dayton, you get back to Atlanta. What you see underneath is the average number of loads that are available for that given day of the week over the past few weeks. So we know on Mondays there's been upwards of 450 loads from Atlanta to Warrenton, and then upwards of 1,000 from Warrenton to Manchester, 820 Manchester to Allentown, and so on. So we know that this route plan, it's pretty easy to complete. We pretty much guarantee that if you have no issues along the way with your truck and delivery times, that you'll be able to complete this plan on time. And you will certainly be able to book loads in each of these lanes. And so this looks like a pretty good plan because it's 5 to 6 days on the road and you're looking at total revenue between $6,700 and $7,200, which is about $1,300 to $1,400 per day. After fuel, you're looking at a gross profit of about $5,000 to $5,700. So this is looking like a pretty good route plan. I want to plan this for my truck for next week. So I'm going to go ahead and click try this route. I'm going to give it a name. And this is going to take us to that view that you saw before of the route planner management tool. So this is where you get to manage that route. So the next thing you'd want to do is do a quick analysis again of this route for its financial aspect. This is where you can include your own operating cost. So what I just did here was I clicked on this icon and now it includes the operating cost per mile for each of these lanes. And let's go ahead and quickly jump over to show you how you can adjust your variable cost. It's something that you do at the very beginning when you sign up, but then you can also go to your home page at any time, go over here to the right, and create new variable costs. And for using standard values, these are just the values that are recommended by the OOIDA. So with these standard values, this is based on what the averages were reported by the OOIDA for 2024. And then you can go back through your own records and adjust these however you'd like to get to a final cost per mile that seems to make sense the most for you. And if you don't feel like going through all your records, but you just have an idea of what your cost per mile can be, the easiest way to adjust that manually is to just play around with this final section here where you adjust your annual wage. So if $1.34 per mile looks too low, let's throw in a $50,000 annual wage. That bumps it up to $1.84. Okay, maybe let's add another $20,000 to bump it up to $2.04. Maybe your cost per mile that you're looking at is more higher than that. So let's just play around with these numbers here, adjust it so that you finally have a variable cost that makes sense to you. And then you can give that a name and set it as your default. And so now every time that you're doing this financial analysis of routes that you're planning, you can easily see that. So now I'm going to see the $2.13 per mile as my variable cost. So that is the operating cost excluding your fuel cost, because that is a separate cost included in the financial analysis here. So if you're looking at the total revenue for this route minus fuel, minus the tolls, and then also minus your own operating costs, you're looking at a profit of around $2,000 to $2,500 for 5 days on the road. That's not bad. So you can also compare this route to the national average in terms of profit. So this route is considerably more profitable than what most carriers are making out on the spot market right now. In fact, if you look at this benchmark analysis, it's showing that more than half of carriers out there right now are losing money on the spot market, which we know the market has been bad. We have heard good things about it improving, but at least for now, from the data that we collect, only above the 50% mark are making any profit at all. But if you use this route and complete it, then you're looking at operating far above the national average. Okay, so now you can look at the operative analysis and look at how many hours it would take to complete this entire route. So for 5 days, you're looking at doing a complete reset cycle with time to spare. So you can have some adjustment in here for delays and detentions. And now that you feel comfortable with this route, you feel that it's ready to start managing the booking process and looking for loads, then you go straight here to the right and click either find a load or report that you've already booked a load. You could also include maybe the load that you've gotten from a private customer, but you can go straight to the load search from here. And this takes you back to the live load board view. And if you remember from a previous video, we were able to add a load to a route. And let's just say we negotiated 1,200. And now it's going to add this load to the route that we have. And now you'll notice real quick that because this load specifically goes to Windsor, Virginia instead of Warrenton, now the route planner is recognizing that there's a slight deviation between the original plan and what has happened. So now it's telling you that this is disconnected. So let's just fix that real quick. And there's different options here. You can say that you'll deadhead from Windsor to Warrenton. You can just replace that lane Warrenton to Manchester with Windsor to Manchester. Or you can try reconnecting the lane by planning some micro route between Windsor and Warrenton. But because they're so close, I'm just going to click replace lane. So now instead of the Warrenton lane, we now have Windsor to Manchester. So that is fixed, and now you can carry on with booking all those loads, handling the documents. You can add a driver here, and if you have the Samsara ELD, you can connect that right in here, and you'll be able to track the truck right from here. And one last thing is, if you open up this map, you click on View Key Points, you'll be able to see more details about this route. So for that first lane from Atlanta to Warrenton, you actually can see all of the truck parking club locations along the way and go straight to booking those spots, which is a cool new feature that we just added. And eventually you'll notice we do some updates soon that will add in fuel locations and hotels and more. You also notice that once you have the driver added with the ELD, you'll be able to track the hours of service and understand along the way where they sit with reset hours, and you can adjust your plan accordingly. And then once the route is complete, then everything will be logged as completed here, and that route will remain saved in your route section of the platform for you to review any documents in the future.